There's something nobody warned me about before I moved to Ireland. Not the weather, not the rent prices, not the accent or the roads or the complicated history. Something quieter than all of that. Living here doesn't just change your address. It changes the speed at which you think. The mornings here are different. Not dramatically different. Not in a way you'd notice on a postcard or a travel reel. But you wake up and the light is grey. Not dark, not bright, just grey. And somehow, slowly, without you making any decision about it, that becomes your baseline. You're neutral. You stop checking your phone first thing. Not because you decided to, but because the morning here doesn't feel like it's asking anything from you yet. In my first apartment in Ireland, I had a window that faced west. Every morning, I'd make tea. Not coffee. I switched to tea almost immediately, which tells you something. And I'd just stand there, looking at nothing in particular. A hedge. A grey sky. Sometimes a crow. Back home, standing still for 5 minutes in the morning would have felt like a waste. Like I was already behind. Here, it just felt like morning. The pace of daily life in Ireland is something you have to experience to understand. And I don't mean slow in a frustrating way, though sometimes, yes, it can test your patience. I mean slow in the sense that there's space between things. Space between finishing work and starting dinner. Space in conversations, where silence isn't immediately filled. Space in the weekend that isn't scheduled into oblivion. I remember going to a small farmer's market a few months after moving here, and I noticed something that I couldn't quite name at the time. Nobody seemed to be there with an agenda. People weren't power walking between stalls. They weren't on their phones while ordering. They were just present, talking to the person selling vegetables like they had all the time in the world. Because, in that moment, they did. And I was the only one who felt rushed. Standing there with no reason to be rushed at all. I want to talk about something that took me a long time to understand. And I want to be careful with how I say this, because it's easy to romanticize a place when you're an outsider looking in. I'm aware of that. But there is something genuinely different about the psychological atmosphere of this country. Ireland has a complicated relationship with performance. In a lot of cultures, and I include the one I came from, there's an invisible pressure to project success, to seem busy, to seem wanted, needed, productive. Social media amplified this, but the feeling existed long before that. There's a version of yourself you perform for the world, and over time, you forget it's a performance. Here, that pressure is quieter, not absent, but quieter. I don't fully understand why. Maybe it's the history. Maybe it's the geography. An island at the edge of Europe, slightly removed from the relentless engine of everything. Maybe it's just the weather, making outdoor performance impractical. But people here seem, on average, less interested in impressing strangers. There's a concept I kept noticing in Irish social life, something that took me a while to have language for. It's the idea that showing off is slightly embarrassing. Not illegal, not immoral, just a bit much, a bit unnecessary. There's even a phrase people use here sometimes, usually said with a raised eyebrow. He's very fond of himself, and it's not a compliment. Coming from a culture where confidence and self-promotion are actively encouraged, this was disorienting. I had to unlearn certain habits, certain ways of entering a room. And what replaced them was something I didn't expect. Actual listening. When you stop performing, you start noticing. I started noticing things I would have walked past before. The way light moves through clouds here, It's unlike anywhere I've been. The sky is constantly doing something. Even on a grey day, there's movement, texture, layers of grey you didn't know existed. I started noticing the way people talk about the weather, not as small talk, but as a genuine shared experience. Because the weather here is genuinely, constantly present. It's not background, it's a character. And then there's the relationship this country has with melancholy. I want to be precise here, because I'm not talking about depression. I'm not talking about hopelessness. I'm talking about something more nuanced, a cultural comfort with sadness as a natural part of being alive. Ireland has always lived beside loss, the famine, the emigration. For generations, the default trajectory for Irish people was leaving. The diaspora is enormous. More Irish descendants live outside Ireland than inside it. That's a staggering fact when you sit with it. And instead of erasing that weight, Irish culture absorbed it. It went into the music, that particular quality of Irish traditional music that can sound celebratory and heartbroken at the same time. It went into the literature. Beckett, Joyce, Heaney, writers who understood that life is heavy and strange and still worth examining closely. It went into the way people here talk about the dead, not in a morbid way, in a matter-of-fact, almost tender way, like the people who left are still somehow nearby, still part of the conversation. When I first encountered this, I found it uncomfortable. Where I come from, we tend to move through grief quickly, or at least we perform moving through it quickly. You're given a window to be sad, and then life is supposed to resume. Here, there's no such window. Or maybe the window is just indefinitely open. And something strange happened to me because of that. My own sadness started to feel less like a problem, less like something I needed to solve or suppress or explain. It started to feel like just part of the weather inside me, present sometimes, passing through, nothing to be alarmed about. I don't know if that's healing, but it felt like something. I've been trying to write this video for a long time, not because I didn't know what I wanted to say, but because what I wanted to say kept resisting being said, kept slipping into cliché the moment I tried to pin it down. So let me try to be as honest as I can. Living in Ireland made me realize how much noise I was using to avoid myself. I don't say that as a dramatic revelation. I say it as a quiet, slightly embarrassing observation. Back where I came from, silence was something to be solved, managed, filled. There was always a podcast, a playlist, a notification, a plan about the plan. A version of myself I was constructing and maintaining and updating constantly. Here, silence is just silence. It doesn't ask you to do anything with it. It doesn't mean something is wrong. It's not a void that needs to be filled. It's just air, just time, just the sound of rain and wind and your own breath. And when the noise stopped, or when I let it stop, I started to find things I'd misplaced. Opinions I actually held, rather than opinions I'd borrowed from people I wanted to impress. Preferences I'd abandoned because they weren't productive enough to justify. Memories I'd stored without ever really processing. It's strange to say that a country gave me that. Maybe it wasn't Ireland. Maybe I would have found it anywhere eventually if I'd stopped long enough. But I stopped here, and Ireland was patient enough to wait while I did. There's a word in Irish, ciúnas. It translates roughly to silence or stillness. But native speakers will tell you the translation doesn't capture it, because it's not just the absence of sound. It's more like a quality, a presence, the feeling of a space that's at rest with itself. I've heard it described as the silence after music stops. Not emptiness, but resonance. I'm not Irish. I grew up somewhere very different. I may never fully understand what this country is from the inside, but I think I've started to feel Chiúnas. Not always, not reliably, but sometimes, usually unexpectedly, standing in a field or walking back from somewhere in the dark or sitting by that window with tea that's gone cold. I feel it. That quality of stillness. That sense that the moment you're in is enough. That you don't need to be anywhere else, becoming anything else, performing anything else. Just this. Just now. Just the sound of rain and the grey light and the inexplicable feeling that everything, for a moment, is exactly as it should be. I want to be honest about something else. Ireland is not easy. The housing crisis is real and serious. The cost of living is high. The winters are long and the summers are unreliable, and I use the word summer generously. There are days, especially in February, when the sky hasn't moved in weeks, and everything feels damp in a way that goes past your clothes and into something deeper. There are frustrations. There are things I miss from home with an ache that doesn't fully go away. But if you are someone who is tired, not physically tired, but tired in a way that sleep doesn't touch, tired of performing, tired of optimizing, tired of the relentless forward motion of a life you're not sure you actually chose, Ireland has a strange way of giving you back something. I don't know what to call it. Yourself, maybe. Or just permission. Permission to exist at a pace that doesn't require justification. I don't think Ireland changed who I am. I think it just made enough space, enough quiet, enough grey, enough unremarkable ordinary days for me to stop pretending to be someone else. And I'm not sure any place has done that for me before. If something in this video felt familiar, if you recognize something in what I was describing, I don't think that's a coincidence. This channel exists for exactly this kind of conversation. Not tourist guides, not moving tips, not listicles. Just slow, honest, real content about what it actually feels like to live inside a different world, and what that world does to you, quietly, over time. If that's something you want more of, subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need it. And leave a comment below. Tell me, has a place ever changed the way you think? Not just where you lived, but how you lived inside yourself? I read every single comment. Every one.